Not a single Bills fan should have been worried at any point last night, because when it comes to the Bills and Dolphins, when it's winning time, we know Tua's going to Tua.
Hey, you got to clip that one. You was going to Tua, but hey, it was definitely one of those type of nights. And I'm glad that the Buffalo Bills was able to get Tua to do the Tua and get that turnover up, whatever that is. David, what you got?
Yeah, as close as that game was, and as much credit as we'll give to Miami for playing, for if there was any question if they were going to quit, they weren't. But I still did not feel at any point that the Bills, even when it was tied, I didn't feel that the Bills were going to lose that game at any point.
This is Broken Table. Hein, Stevie, Chezzy, and Davis. What you just said, I completely agree. That game never felt like, it was tied, or like the Dolphins are down 7 and driving. It never felt like they were in that game. And I don't know if it's the history, the fact the Bills are 14-1 against Miami in their last 15. Josh Allen just owns them. But credit to them for playing hard. They didn't give up. And a lot of people were like, this team's done, and this is going to be the end of McDaniel. I believe I said last week it wouldn't shock me if McDaniel's last game. But no, credit to the Dolphins. They played really hard, but they just it was never close.
The reason why is not, I don't think it's the history. I don't think it's the what's happened with the Dolphins. I don't think it's the locker room. I think the reason why it was never in question is because the Buffalo Bills offense is just too good. Yeah. They're too potent. I felt like when the Dolphins stopped them, it was because the Bills stopped themselves. I didn't think that the Dolphins were going to be able to stop the Bills. And sadly, and something we're going to talk about today, I'm sure we're going to talk about for the next 4 months, is that Bills defense has got to find a closer. They couldn't get key stops to get off the field. I know Bernard had the interception. Mm-hmm. That was a little bit of circumstance, and we'll take it. But the Bills have got to find that guy, whether it's Bosa, whether it's Maxwell Harrison when he comes back. They have to find one guy that can beat somebody one-on-one and make an impact play when they need to get out the field.
Yeah, I understand what Davis is saying with that. I also feel like they do have that guy. I think Davis is put out there that we need that every day. Every game we know this person's going to get it. And I would love for that to happen also. But the thing about it is, I guess it's turning into a everybody eats on defense now. Because week one, it was Joey Bosa, right? He was the guy that Joey Bosa, or was it Ed Oliver?
Ed Oliver week 1, Joey Bosa week 2, yeah.
Joey Bosa week 2. Now in week 3, who was it? I feel like it was Terrell Bernard, but the unsung hero was Deion Walker, causing those pressures. He was causing a lot of pressure, but Tua did good at being himself, being an athlete early in the game, and it showed. But he eventually did what Hein said, turn into a Tua.
Honestly, I'm glad you mentioned. Deion Walker went to Kentucky. Of course, Stevie's going to message him, but that last play, he was crucial. Watch the video. He had one swim move. He's right into his face, and if you watch the replay, he kind of gets a piece of that ball too. But I'll say this to your point about the Bills' defense and whether this is going to be an issue long term. Look at the list of guys who are out. Last night specifically, no Ed Oliver, no Matt Milano, no Max Hairston, still missing the 2 suspended guys. So as you get those guys back, specifically Ed Oliver was crucial in game 1.
Yep.
As you get those guys back, Walker really impressed me. He made a lot of big plays, but as you get those guys a little more seasoning, I think they'll put that defense in the place they need to be when you get Hairston back, when you get Ed Oliver back, when you get Milano back, and obviously the 2 suspended guys on the D-line. So I'm not worried about the defense because they're missing so many key pieces.
That's fair. They're missing. They are. I mean, absolutely. And to your point, not just pieces, but key pieces, guys that will be a big part of that starting lineup. And yeah, no doubt, I'm with you.
I gave Davis a little homework because watching that game, I was a little worried when I was watching Trey White getting burned by Jalen Waddle. So you watched all of his targets. What did you see when Miami targeted Trey White?
Yeah, I think the conclusion, and I went back and we talked, you gave me my homework, and I went back and put up the coach's tape of all Tre'Davious' targets. And he had 7 targets, 6 completions. But in saying that, I thought he was solid. And me and Stevie just quickly had a convo before we started recording here, and I thought what Stevie said was was the same way I feel. And it's that Trey knows who he is at this point in his career. Sean McDermott in that defense, they understand Brandon Beane when they brought him back. They understand who he is and what he brings. And kind of what the result was last night was that. On a key third down, again, so of those 7 snaps, he only played man coverage twice. So they're playing cover 2, they're playing 2-man, they're playing cover 6, which is basically another version of cover 2, just half field cover 2. And so looking at what he was asked to do is just keep guys in front of you, communicate, pass routes, and then tackle. And when he was asked to do that, he did a great job. You saw him, he tackled a screen, a great play, instinctive play on the screen, a great play on the swing pass. He was doing that, and he was keeping everything in front of him. And then when on a key third down, when asked to cover Jalen Waddle, one of the shiftiest, he reminds me a lot of Stevie, actually.
He has that wiggle off the line, right?
He absolutely does. And so when asked to cover him on a key, it was the fourth quarter, 6 minutes left. I believe it was 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 6. And they were playing man coverage because they got to get out the field. He had no chance. He stemmed him inside. He ran him off, and he was on his heels. He knew that he could not handle Jalen Waddle's speed. It was an easy pitch and catch for the out route. But that's the stuff that the Bills defense are going to give up at this point in time because that's just what their roster has, and they don't have a choice. But, yeah, I thought Tre'Davious White did exactly what expected to do. Again, a lot of zone. He's smart. If you keep things in front of you and make teams drive the ball down the field, 12, 13, 14 play drives, Josh can go down and score in 5 plays. That's not a recipe that other teams want to have. You just don't want young guys busting coverages and letting them score in 3-play drives.
Do you think, though, is this maybe just Miami's a tough assignment for him? And say if you're up against, say, like Cincy, and he has to cover someone like Higgins, who doesn't have that wiggle off the line, doesn't have that like
bad example.
No, I'm just giving another great receiver tandem, but like. I feel like that's just both of Miami's receivers are so quick and so shifty that
right.
he's going to be in a tough spot no matter what. Stevie, as a receiver, what are you thinking when you see like the way Waddle kind of ate on Trey on those crucial third downs and on the touchdown?
Well, first off, at this point, every receiver in this NFL league is dangerous. A seasoned veteran, going through injuries and this and that, you kind of you pick your battles wisely, and that's what Trey has done. When it came to those crucial downs, like Davis pointed out, Trey, he got beat, but he didn't get burnt as far as giving up 6 points. And like Davis also added, when you have teams have to drive the ball 16 plays, 17 plays to get 3 or 6 points, I mean, more times than not, the Buffalo Bills have shown with that everybody eats mentality now on the offense and defense that, hey, there's going to be a turnover somewhere, or you're going to have that 3 and out come up. The reason why the Miami Dolphins was in this game was because they was perfect. They had a 16-play drive, and that's rarely been done on the Buffalo Bills. So I'm with Davis on that. And as far as answering your questions, Hein, I mean, all of these receivers, whoever you line up with, is going to be fast and shifty and or tall, And I still like the grit and the balance that Trey had all last night.
And to your point about the turnover battle, we kind of talked about it last week. And Stevie, you almost kind of predicted it, where like they might lose the turnover battle, but a team like Miami who doesn't have the skills, it might not even matter. But this is now 25 straight games where the Bills have won the turnover battle. That is an NFL record. And while a lot of people might look at the defensive side of like, oh, you can't be feast or famine with turnovers, this offense doesn't turn the ball over. Josh Allen is playing quarterback. He was damn near perfect last night. And yeah, he doesn't wow you with the stats, but he did. Look at you. I know you're smiling because I gushed the way I gushed about Josh Allen.
I feel the same way. Yeah. I mean, I'm smiling because I'm kind of feel the same way.
He plays whatever the offense needs. He does that, and they can beat you so many different ways. They put up 30 points again. This offense to me is the best in football, and I think could be historically great this year.
The Bills offense put up 31 points, and I felt like everyone around was upset because we didn't put up more. So it's like, that's what we expect out of the Bills now. Is a beautiful thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah. You know what? So we're all just gushing over the offense, but I'm adding, it's the way they're doing it now that is so impressive to me. So if you look at the offense, they're probably, if you were to describe them and you didn't know who Josh was and what was going on, you would say they're a run-based offense. Mm-hmm. You would say it's an offense that's basically built around James Cook, who James Cook, by the way, now is one of the elite backs in the league. What he does, he's in that conversation with the Saquons, with the CMCs, with whoever else you want to put because of everything. He run with power, he run with speed. He's that guy now. And so because the Bills, their offensive line is so good, because they're so efficient, the way I see this offense and why they're so difficult to stop is that they can get to 3rd and 3 so easily now with their run game and with what they're doing with James, if they even get to 3rd down. But then Josh on 3rd down has the ability to either get the ball to who he needs to, or if it breaks down, he can make a play. Yeah. They're almost impossible to stop. It's similar to the Eagles in how they can get to 3rd and short.
Just get to 3rd and 1 and there's nothing you can do.
Even at 3rd and 3 with them, Jalen can also drop back. And if he doesn't have anything, he can try to run for a bit. They get to 4th and 1, and it's a tush push or whatever. But getting the Bills in, how often you see the Bills in 3rd and long now? You just don't.
But also they have the guy who, if you're in 3rd and 1 or 3rd and long, it kind of doesn't matter. They have a quarterback who can make a play in 3rd and long, and that's to me what makes them so unstoppable. Is even if you get them in 3rd and 15, Josh is one of the 5 guys who, I can go and convert that, no problem.
I do have one worry about the offense, but let's tackle that after, because it's probably a later conversation. But it was kind of the receiving core and who is what in regards to the pecking order and what I saw in some key situations. We can chat about.
Well, let's get into it right now, because Kincaid, they've been emphasizing Kincaid, and Kincaid looks like a different dude than last year. He kind of looks back to rookie form, Dalton Kincaid. They're trying to get him involved a ton. And it basically, Josh Palmer was kind of invisible yesterday, and it's going to change a lot. But we saw Shavers get a catch. We saw Elijah Moore make a couple big plays. We saw Shakir being a crucial outlet on some big plays. So and this is my question for you. If you being the defensive back, would you rather go against an offense that is sort of everybody eats, or say Houston's offense where it's Nico's the guy, we know Nico is the guy, we have to lock that down? What's harder to defend, everybody eats or something like Houston?
So we've had this conversation. Us three have had this conversation. This show has had this conversation. It's a constant conversation amongst Bills Mafia, and Stevie played in this league a lot longer than I did, had a lot more success than I did. I respect his opinions.
Wait, you got 3 championships, right? Don't you got 3 championships?
Yeah, that's right.
Come on, man. Hey,
don't sell yourself short. Bring up the resume.
The reason for saying this is because we disagree on this. I don't think that you can have everybody eats is bullshit to me. I don't think that's a thing. The only reason that everybody eats is it works. If everyone eats was a deal for any other team that didn't have Josh Allen,
it's because of Josh.
It's because of Josh. If you had everyone eats, if you had 4 number 3 receivers on your team, you'd look like the Sam Darnold Carolina Panthers, or whoever, the Mitch Trubisky Chicago Bears. That's what it would look like. But because you have Josh Allen, everybody eats just means that Josh buys enough time on key downs to have one of those guys who is a number 3 receiver to get open. So I don't like everybody eats. I think that's just a word and something that people in Buffalo brought up.
It's sort of dressing up that you have mediocre receivers.
You have average receivers. And to finish that, I saw it. Here's an example. I saw it last night on a key 3rd down, and we can discuss, and I have some numbers here to back up their guys, but I saw a key 3rd down last night in the game where I think it was midway through the 3rd quarter when they ran some sort of ISO route for Elijah Moore. This is before he had the other catches after. This is the first one they went to him. But in a key spot in a game when you need a 1st down, and they're not doubling Kincaid at this point. They're not doubling Khalil Shakir. They're not doubling Josh Palmer.
Or Keon Coleman's not getting doubled either.
No one's getting doubled. So why the hell are you going to Elijah Moore as you're on a key 3rd down? You have to go to your money guy. It's got to go to him first. If he's one-on-one, you go to him. If he's doubled, because he's your number 1 guy, and everybody knows that this is where it's not everyone eats, he's the number 1 guy, then you look to where you get in the matchup you want, where you get one-on-one, and you attack that. With Josh, I think he drops back, and this offense is okay, let's just go through the progression and see who we like. I don't like that. I want to know who I'm going to in key spots. If it's one-on-one, because I know he's going to win and we have that relationship, Or if he's doubled, then I go to the matchup I love. It's one-on-one against their weakest DB.
Yeah, I feel like he is doing that. We can go back and forth on it. I'm an everybody eats guy. What Chezzy's saying is great, is traditional, and is logical. You will want to go up to the line on a 3rd and 5 and know that this guy's going to get open. And when you say everybody eats, I think that's still what's going on. He feels like Keon should be open. He feels like Elijah should be open, or Kincaid when he throw it to those guys, because they have the ability. But here's the kicker. It's the coaches, it's the position coaches that gotta evolve these guys. All of those guys that we named, they have the talent, they have the caliber to be that guy. However, you still have to evolve into that person. There was a play with Keon. You only named out Elijah. Keon had one on the left sideline, and it was called a flag.
Oh, the drop. Yeah, the drop. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of a drop, whatever. But I feel like his technique, he was like taking off a sweater slowly as opposed to shrugging, snapping, and getting him off. That can be done every time. You know what I'm saying? But it's about the outside. And why do I add that? Because if you listen to Terrell Bernard talk about the play that he made on Tua, it was all because of the coaching. He said, my coach was hammering me about this play. If you see this set, if you see this, then just jump on it, break on and do this. And he said he saw it early once and he's seen it again the second time, and he listened to the coach. So establishing that guy, it's got to work in between the lines. It's got to kind of be off script. And I think the Bills are going towards that. Josh is going towards that by what he showed yesterday with only like 10 yards of airtime, with his passes. That means he's getting the ball out in the spots, not really having to watch his receivers do routes and this and that. He's just seeing who he likes, his best matchup, and he's getting it there and letting the playmakers be playmakers. So I think they're evolving into that. But right now, they have to go with the everybody eats mentality, because if Josh was to stick to one side and that person hasn't evolved and hasn't won like he should, it's going to make the offense look stagnant. It's going to make it look like Josh doesn't know what he's doing. And I feel like Josh has been controlling things appropriately according to how the team is going.
Are you saying that when you say haven't evolved there, so you're saying that you don't think that there's one guy that's evolved to be the number one?
Well, I would say Khalil Shakir is the number one. But when you call out, hey, we need to line up in this 3rd and this,
right? Okay.
Khalil Shakir, he can, as far as being a gadget or running the right route to get in the hole. But you don't. What you're saying is you don't have a Stevie or a T.O. out there to, right. Hey, no matter what the route is, I'm gonna be physical and I'm gonna throw this guy. I'm gonna get this separation in space. Like, that's what Keon is evolved. He's going to evolve into that, but he can't do it without I'm just calling it out. Yeah. The proper coaching, because the guy's 6'4". And there's no reason why you should have went through a whole season last year and then come to this season in a play like that happen, where a guy is about to touch your shoulder and you let him get his whole hand. There's seconds in between where he's lifting up to do this, where you should know to snap by. Mm-hmm. But it's the game within the game that has to be done, brother.
Right.
To me, it's like we saw this offense when Diggs was there and Josh would almost focus on him too much because that's what Diggs wanted. The offense is better now than it was when you had that weapon, but I think that's because the evolution of Josh. Sure. And I think Josh has sort of been, and he talked about it a little bit, he's been freed up by not having to be like, I need to get this guy his 10 targets a game or he's going to be upset. Having said that, you obviously always want better players. Has Kincaid for you is he starting to make that leap into the go-to guy who can kind of carry that offense from what you're seeing?
So I have some numbers here that tell us who the go-to guy is right now. And I was looking at this a couple of days ago before the game, getting prepped. And Keon Coleman right now has the highest target percentage. This is 3rd down right now.
Okay, so this is entering last night.
Entering last night, Keon Coleman has the highest target percentage on 3rd downs. Here's the crazy part. That doesn't sound too crazy. That Keon, we thought it would be Khalil Shakir. It's not even close, by the way. Khalil's like 4th on 3rd down targets. And we all think that.
We said that before the season.
We all thought Khalil Shakir would be that guy. So Keon Coleman has the highest target percentage, but Keon Coleman also has the most vertical shots down the field.
Yeah.
So the guy that you're going to most on key third down conversion plays is also your biggest vertical threat that has the most vertical targets. That's somewhat shocking. Your third down guy,
don't usually
intersect. So that was surprising to me. He almost has double the targets on third down. Coleman does, that Shakir does, but they play the same amount of snaps. Mm-hmm. So Josh is seeing something he likes in Keon Coleman. And more than Shakir right now in his matchups.
Absolutely, and it's supposed to be like that because look at that kid. He's a
He's a
physical
freak
specimen. And if you have him turn into who we want him to be, it's only better for the Buffalo Bills. It's only better for Khalil Shakir. So I think Josh understands what it is. He's trying to groom him into being that number one guy. But it's going to take a little bit more work, a little bit more situations. And I feel like it's just going to take a little bit more conversation between Keon and even Josh and Keon and his coaches. And when they watching film and studying other players, because there's no way in hell that he shouldn't have made that play early in the game. There's no way in hell that any DB should be able to stop him.
Well, and I think Stevie's right there. The size, the physicality, the fact that he can make those contested catches, that will be crucial when you get up against tougher defenses and you need big plays. And we saw it in the Ravens game. Who did he go to that entire fourth quarter? Anytime he needed a big play, he went to Keon Coleman. But I want to go back to something you said a little while ago about if you were to watch.
Let me add one sentence.
Yeah, go.
One sentence to cap this off because it's another number that's probably interesting for our viewers and for us. Versus blitz, entering last week, versus blitz. Kincaid is his favorite target versus blitz. 40% of the blitz targets were going to Kincaid, right? 24% of the blitz targets were going to Coleman, and only 7% to Shakir. So versus blitz, you know who he's looking at. He's looking at Kincaid. Almost half the time he's looking at Kincaid. Most of the rest of the time it's Coleman and barely Shakir. Just wanted to add that.
And I have a good number to add on to your note that is relevant to last night. Dolphins blitzed on 41% of Josh Allen dropbacks last night. Despite that, this is from Warren Sharp, who's just one of the best. Recorded just a 9% pressure rate, their lowest since 2018. So you blitz 40% of the time, credit to that Bills O-line. We know, and I think they're the best in the league. You guys might think Philly. That Bills O-line was fantastic last night, and we saw it in pass protection, even though Josh did get sacked a couple of times, but that was just Chubb making a great play on Dawkins and running the ball. And to your point before about that, oh, sorry, go ahead, Stevie.
You know, I'm just adding on to that defensive stat and those numbers that you was putting up in Davis. You know, that's like the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. What was he doing when it was blitz? He was getting it to his tight end in those plays where it's not a full route. And that's what you see the evolution of Josh Allen. He's not looking over at one receiver during pressure situations. He's looking to get the ball out quick, and the easiest person is the tight ends. So that's a good point.
To what you said before about if you were to just drop someone in, you're watching football for the first time, they're thinking James Cook is the guy that we're building this offense around. And I am going to give you a number, and I hesitated to give you this number because I think your wheels are going to be spinning and you're going to want to run to FanDuel and bet this immediately. Joe Brady to win Assistant Coach of the Year is 25-1. Now, at the time we're taping this, it's 25-1. If that number has changed, which I think it will, I'll update it on the graphic. He is 25-1 to win Coach of the Year. Joe Brady is going to be a head coach next season. Exactly. Pull the phone out, bet it now before it moves, because that number is way too high. Just think of what the narratives will be towards the end of the year. Yes. This Bills offense is going to be the best offense in football. They're probably going to be 13-4, 14-3, battling for the 1 seed. Joe Brady is going to be one of the 3 candidates for this award. 25-1 is lunacy. I bet it this morning. I told everybody in my group chats to bet it. So when you see the line move, just know that's when Davis the Whale came in and bet it. That's when the line moved.
That's a great number. Yeah. Wow. Hey, Stevie, and why aren't we on Hein's group chat where he gives us great information? I'm
telling you right now.
That's kind of wicked, man. Like, we give you all our best bets and tips, and you don't share us the goal.
We get calls what time we have to be here in the morning and what we have to prepare for and all the technical stuff, but nothing good.
I will say this. My loyalty first is to the group chat, and then next is to the content. And I want to surprise you with such a big number. And I knew if you bet it, you would have moved the markets. You're a whale. Come on, man. Let's go to the streets where we're doing a little your way for Chiefs and Giants. One wheel, make a catch. Oh. Sorry, dude. So, game points, over under 45.5.
I'm probably not the best person for this today.
So we are making a little same game parlay on FanDuel, but we're doing it your way. Yeah, the Giants. Ugh.
We hate the Giants.
The Chiefs season is on the line on Sunday Night Football as they take on the Giants. So we're doing a little same game parlay your way.
I'm gonna say maybe 275.
Okay, so Mahomes to 275 will be.
I'm keeping him under 300.
Okay. Well, you got thoughts?
Be brave. Come on.
275 is pretty brave.
I think 275 is pretty brave.
Mahomes has been rushing a lot.
Yeah,
Well, that's
I know.
Mahomes
So
rushing.
I'm trying to figure out where this dot is because
Well, put it where that's the beauty of your way. You can put it wherever you want.
I'm gonna put him at 30.
Okay. So we got
Which feels like
275
a lot.
passing, 30 rushing, and then now are you guys Swifties?
Travis. Okay,
Yeah, here
I
we
was
go,
gonna
there
say
we go.
Travis Kelce. I'm going down. I'm going down on this number. I think that the Giants keep Kelce under 100 yards.
So you're gonna go under what? Under
I'm
100.
gonna say 76.
Okay, so we can go
76.
under 77 yards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Arsenal jersey, make a catch. Oh wow, one-handed. We are making a little your way parlay on FanDuel for Chiefs and Giants. Who do you like in the game?
I'm a Seahawks fan, so I've got a soft spot for Russell Wilson.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so you're taking the Giants?
To win?
Well, you can take some points. That's the beauty of your way. You can adjust. You can give them 7 points if you want.
Yeah, the Chiefs will win, I think.
Okay, so Chiefs will win, but you like Russell Wilson. What do you like as passing yards? You can move it any which way you want. You can put him to 200 passing yards?
Go for it.
Go for it. Okay, how many yards is Travis Kelce getting?
He's having a bad game.
Bad game?
Yeah, he fumbled at the weekend.
So what do you think, under 60?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much.
No worries, man.
You want to make a great catch while running? You don't have to.
running?
You don't have to run, but
I'll catch it.
there you go. Okay.
I'll catch it.
Oh, what a catch! Nice catch. Thank you. That was a good catch. Okay, let's stick with the West because I don't know. We had a great Sunday slate, but one I'm most excited about is Broncos Chargers. Me and you are both really big on the Chargers just as a whole this year. I think they're going to win the West. This is a very nice test for them. And a Broncos team that was sort of the sweetheart of everybody in the offseason, I looked at the Chargers as the better team, and I think that spread feels a little low. I know we'll get to your best bet a little later, but I'm hyped for Broncos Chargers, and I think that's a nice test for the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chargers on this one. It's a good rivalry out there. I feel like the reemergence of Keenan Allen coming back to the Bolts has been heavy and played dividends to that team. And I'm going to roll with the Bolts to keep on getting those dubs.
I know you love your Keenan Allen touchdown bets. You hit last week with it. It seems like you're back on it again this week, eh?
Yep, every time, every week. Whenever I see it, man, I'm going.
Did you play with Keenan Allen? Yeah, I know you like Keenan Allen. Did you play with him?
Yep, I got a season with him in San
nice.
Diego. Yeah, we got shake things up.
Yeah. No, I mean, for me, I feel like, and Steve, you played in a couple of small markets, San Diego being one of them, Buffalo being another, and you were one of these people. But there's people that because of the markets they played in, they don't get as much national attention as they should. And Justin Herbert is that guy. I mean, think about if Justin Herbert played in any of those big markets. Justin Herbert is what top. I'm not gonna say he's top 5 because that'd be a little bit ludicrous. But when you look at the top 4 and that 5th spot, all the names that you toss into that 5th spot behind Joe Burrow, he's right there with all those guys. He's not out of place with any of those guys that you want to throw in the 5th spot. I would argue that Justin Herbert is as good as any of those guys. And so the fact that I think just because he hasn't been on great teams, they haven't had playoff success, which is, we know, that's really what.
So how much do you think though that, and I like Herbert, but I have to play devil's advocate.
Yep.
At what point do you have to say, and I for one will blame the coaching, and now he has a real head coach finally, so I think that'll be the difference. Don't you have to criticize that lack of play, like the bad performances in the playoffs? Look, I like Herbert, and I think this year people will look at Herbert a little differently and start to put him in that class. But I feel it's all coaching. When you have a competent head coach and one of the best in Jim Harbaugh, everything around you the infrastructure is better, and then you'll be in a better place.
We'll show. I'll give you the photo. You can pull it up. They'll put it up here. Put the photo up here of me and Justin Herbert. You want to realize how big Justin Herbert is.
He's like, what is he, like 6'5", 6'4"?
Justin Herbert is like 6'6", 6'7".
Oh, wow.
He's a legit 6'6" guy. He's massive.
It's like the photo of me and Stevie standing next to Krolnick.
Yes,
like
I look like I'm not a tall guy, but I'm a legit 5'10" guy, and Justin Herbert makes me look like Webster. and those who know who Webster is. But anyway, the thing with Justin that I think people don't fully get is he's also a great athlete. So he's got a massive arm.
Can run. He can move.
He's a great athlete. I mean, Justin Herbert, smart guy, great leader, got a gun, obviously. I mean, he's got everything. It's just that hasn't been in the market and hasn't had the success. And I also will say, in this Broncos game, the Broncos have a great defense. We know that. The Chargers are in that same league now
100%, yeah.
of great defense, or really good defenses.
I would agree. I love that. I love that Chargers defense, and that's why I'm so excited for this game, because if the Chargers win this game, they are in the driver's seat for the West. They're kind of already in the driver's seat for the West, but I think they can just kind of cruise. And the Chiefs still have a lot of tough games, although like this Giants game, I think they'll be fine. Let's go to the NFC.
You want to look at can we mention the Chargers schedule real fast?
Go for it.
After the Broncos, you think that they're not, you said it, they have a real shot. Maybe we should run and bet the Chargers to win the AFC West too.
Oh, I have that bet already. Don't worry.
You're a sharp guy. After the Broncos, they have the Giants, Commanders, Dolphins, Colts, Vikings, Tennessee, and then Pittsburgh, Jags, and then a bye week.
I don't see a loss in there.
Yeah, I mean they could legit go, I think 9-1.
Yeah.
It's 8-2.
Well, the Chiefs' schedule is much tougher, and they're going to have some tough games in that stretch. In the NFC, Rams, Eagles. I think these are the two best teams in the NFC. I think that Rams team can go in there. Philly still just doesn't feel, even the win against the Chiefs last week, it was very much just do enough to get the win. What kind of shot are you giving the Rams Sunday?
Yeah, I mean being in Philly makes this difficult, but yeah, I mean they have a shot.
The Rams almost beat them in that playoff game too.
They should have beat him in that. They should have,
exactly.
You're absolutely right. They should have beat him. Yeah, I mean they have a shot. What do you think, Stevie?
I'm going Philadelphia at home. Yeah, the run game, they was able to control things against the Kansas City Chiefs. They've been able to control teams all season, and I don't think it's going to stop with the Rams visiting the Philadelphia Eagles. Another win for the Birds.
I will add this for the real fast for the Rams Eagles game. If by some chance that the Rams can stop them on early downs, which is probably the case for every team playing the Eagles, they have a really good pass rush. The Rams do.
Yeah.
If the Rams can get the Eagles to third down, and they can just rush 4 and drop 8 into coverage, drop 7 into coverage, and have Jalen have to throw the ball into tight windows, they can have success.
Do you think though? Can you rush 4 against an offensive line as good as Philly? And get a pass rush?
with that group you can.
Do you think Jared Verse and those guys can?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because they have an athletic back end too. I mean, that's the best way to do it. I mean, I think that if you can, I mean, again, getting into third and getting them to third down and 5 or more is difficult.
Yeah,
but if they do, that's the easiest path of success.
All right, and then let's just take this to our best bets then. Right now in the standings, Stevie's sitting at 2-0. I'm at 1-1. Chezzy, you don't have a best bet yet, so you can kick us off.
My best bet is the Chargers. Chargers are 2.5. I think that might get to 3 by kickoff, but I think the Chargers are 2.5. I think they're at home. They have close to as good of defense. But the key here is they have the better quarterback. I know everybody loves what Bo Nix did.
I ain't buying it with Bo Nix,
2
man.
Oregon quarterbacks going head to head. Let's go Ducks. But I'm going with the better quarterback in Justin Herbert at home.
I'm not a believer in Bo Nix yet.
Yeah.
I need to see more, man.
Yeah.
And I like it. I like the
I'm with
Chargers
you.
as well. My best bet, I love the Texans. The Texans are getting points at the Jags. The Jags, I don't know what they are. Houston, I think, is much better. This is a must-win game for this Houston team. And we talked about great defenses. That Houston defense still looks like one of the best defenses in the NFL to me. And you lost a tough game to Tampa. Baker made a great play on a 4th and 10. I love Houston. That is my best bet. Stevie, I know you were looking at Puka. The line 6.5. How you feeling? You like the over?
Yes, sir. I'm going with Puka. I'm going with the over 6.5 reception. Puka Nacua, if you guys don't know, you know now. The kid is a straight star in this league. That's week 1, he had eight catches. Week 2, he came back with 10 catches. So 6.5 should be easy considering you're going up against the defending champs and you're going to need everybody on your team to win that game. So I'm marking Puka for 6.5 catches or more.
All right, and let's finish with this because maybe we buried the lead here, but Stevie Johnson was the legend of the game at Bills Dolphins. And
Yes.
what better time to set up story time with Stevie Johnson? Tell us your tales, being the legend of the game, Thursday night, Bills Dolphins.
Yeah, man, it was an electric feeling, man. Just having the command of 80,000, fanatic Bills Mafia fans in the crowd, and just being able to say those iconic words. Where else would you rather be? But the best thing about this trip was, the day before, I was able to link up with one of my favorite quarterbacks in Ryan Fitzpatrick, and met with him, Richard Sherman, and Witt. We always just hanging out. That was, just that feeling again. Everybody seemed like it was a good time out here in Orchard Park. And then the Buffalo Bills went out there and they did their thing. They handled their business. Here's a little story about the game night. Okay, I called out the team, introduced them and all that was cool. But then I asked if I can run the flag out, which is when they score, you run across the field and you wave the flags. So I always wanted to do that. So they said, yeah, you can do it. But if the first score is a field goal, then you got to go run suicides, go to the other side, run back, and then go back to the other side. And then when Dalton Kincaid made that catch and got into the end zone, I was like, thank goodness. He scored. I got to run the flag, man, and it was special. It was special considering that was my last one at the stadium.
Did you see your boy Fitz went shirts off on the Amazon panel after the game too with Deion Dawkins?
Yeah, him and the snowman. It's beautiful to see, man. The world is loving Buffalo right now. I think we getting more homers in the building.
Let's go. There you go. Let's go.
Well, it's funny too. They showed you on the broadcast, on the Amazon broadcast, which also carried on TSN, of course, which was great to see there. But it brought me back because if you're hanging out with Sherman, I remember Sherman in the offseason was the one he was on Twitter saying no one runs routes like Stevie Johnson. Right. Right. To have one of the best corners in the game talking about your route running, that must have been nice to catch up with him as well, eh?
Yeah, man. Just a little bit about Sherman too. He never had to say none of that stuff. Nobody told him to say that or bring up those conversations. But here's something about him coming from Southern California, going to school in Stanford, and then going into the Hall of Fame as a defensive back. I mean, his mental fortitude, man, it's a big respect to him. And props to Sherman because he was the only one to try to get physical with me. Nobody else tried to grab or do anything. They all just tried to shadow me. But Sherman, he tried to get physical. And I give him props.
And that did not work out well for him as you burned him all game. So on that note, though, Stevie, play us out.
Hey, guys, look, if y'all got any comments on what y'all heard, man, make sure y'all leave it in the comments so we can get back to y'all, man. This is what it's all about. Make sure y'all remember to handle business, have fun, and repeat. This is another Broken Table segment. Stay tuned next week. Go Bills.